let's get started without further ado. I want to introduce you all to our first of 5 webinars. This is going to be on all things for admitted students. Quite simply, you've been accepted. Now what? And so I can't wait for us to really unpack the different opportunities for you students to really learn more about Cal Poly. And so, without further ado, let's get started. My name is Aaron Borgeson. I'm a admissions officer here at Cal Poly, pronouns he, him, and I am a two-time graduate of Cal Poly. Originally got my undergraduate in political science all the way from close to San Diego, California. I'm originally from Temecula, California. It's about an hour north of San Diego. Came to Cal Poly to pursue my undergraduate in political science. And I get to host you all here today as an admissions officer. And I'm joined by some of my colleagues from the Office of Admissions, Poly Reps, which are our volunteer university ambassadors or tour guides in some ways that you might have met them in the past. We're also joined from University Housing, two of my amazing colleagues that are going to be presenting some of the upcoming events and information that you need to know about university housing. So I cannot wait for you to really learn all different things on Cal Poly, and just a little bit of housekeeping items. Utilize that Q&A function down below for any questions that you might have for us. That Q&A function down below can be used throughout our time here today. If you have any specific questions for any of our panelists on anything Cal Poly, we would be happy to help you out. We can specifically help you out with any of the information we're presenting, or can even provide other resources that you might want to know about as we unpack our presentation here today. So without further ado, I want to introduce our students that are joining us here today. So I'm going to ask the Poly Reps as well as Izzy from University Housing to quickly introduce themselves, and then we'll get more into the big more the chunk of what we got going on here today. So Laura, I see you first. Go ahead and welcome to introduce yourself, and we'll go down the line.
Hi everyone, my name's Laura. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I'm a fourth-year English major with a concentration in professional and technical communication and minors in psychology and graphic communication. So yay, College of Liberal Arts. And I am from Rocklin, California, which is like Sacramento area. Max, do you want to go next?
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? My name's Max. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a third-year biomedical engineering student with a minor in finance. I'm from Lake Oswego, Oregon, and absolutely loving it here. I want to pass off to Izzy.
Hi everyone, my name is Izzy Carrera. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a third-year landscape architecture major with minors in city and regional planning, ethnic studies, and sustainable environments, and I am from the San Fernando Valley in California.
So as our students introduce themselves, thank you to the three of you for joining me here today. You can really see from each of the three, and Izzy, you have so much different involvement and experiences. There are so many different opportunities, so many different things that you all have been involved in. And so I want to introduce to you newly admitted students, the different things and the different opportunities or even lingo, maybe insider language that we use here at Cal Poly. So without further ado, we want to start to introduce some of the different lingo that we use here at Cal Poly. So Laura, take it away.
Thanks, Aaron. So you will hear a lot of different abbreviations throughout this visit today, and we want to make sure that we are sort of catching ourselves and making sure that we are all on the same page here. So we like to abbreviate pretty much everything. So we are Cal Poly, the university. It's like a big umbrella with 6 colleges underneath that umbrella. And so we're going to go in depth on what those 6 colleges are and some of the classes and majors you can take in those. But we just want to be clear with that language that Cal Poly is the university as a whole, and then those 6 different colleges. So we have the College of Science and Math, CSM. CAFES is the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, the College of Engineering, College of Architecture and Environmental Design, the Orfalea College of Business, and the College of Liberal Arts. And then over on the side here, we have SLO, that is San Luis Obispo, the wonderful town we live in. We like to put SLO in front of everything, our SLOMies, slow town. We like to make a lot of puns, slow down. It's fun, we love it. And the UU is our university union, so that's our main hub of campus where a lot of action goes on, where students are stopping in between classes to do homework and hang out. The rec is our recreation center, our gym and outdoor pool fitness area. And the week of welcome is our orientation program, which if you decide to come to Cal Poly, you will all get to be a part of. It is a wonderful week of getting to hang out with people from your residence hall and tour San Luis Obispo. A couple other more technical terms. Major, so Cal Poly offers 64 different majors. That is your main area of study. A minor can be completely separate from your major. All of us who introduced ourselves earlier, we all have minors and they may or may not be associated with that major. And then a concentration is located within that major. So it's a really specific area of study connected to your major. Some majors have concentrations, others do not. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. I'm really excited just to kind of intro the different language that we use here at Cal Poly. Without further ado, we want to learn, where are you coming from today? So I'm launching a poll here to let us know, our different visitors that are here today, where are you coming from? So let us know what parts of either California, the United States, or even the world you're coming from. And then we also want to know, what type of visitor are you? So maybe you are an admitted freshman, parent, supporter, waitlisted student. So what type of, who are you here today? And then also, last but not least, as Laura just introduced our 6 awesome different colleges at Cal Poly, I want to know what major or college that you are associated with. So go ahead and throw in the Q&A here, excuse me, in the poll, what college you are a part of. Again, we got one Cal Poly, one Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, California, halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco, but we have 6 colleges here on our one campus. Each of our campus buildings and colleges are kind of intermixed, and so you're going to be walking and getting used to kind of this idea that we have one campus but 6 different colleges. We're going to talk a little bit more about how the colleges even interact with university housing in just a minute or two, actually just a short bit. But it's exciting to see your different involvements and who you are. It's exciting to see that we have folks coming all throughout California as well as in the United States. So thank you for submitting who you are here today, and let's get started with kind of the agenda. So I want to really kind of introduce some different core tenets of what we got going on here today. I'm going to quickly throw it over to my colleague Cody to talk more about admissions, and then we're going to have a chance to talk more about the upcoming different resources to introduce you to Cal Poly, including university housing. And then I can't wait for you to really utilize that Q&A function. Let us know what questions you have, students, and we'll also have a chance for our staff and students to answer any questions at the end. So without further ado, I can't wait. I want to introduce my colleague, Cody. Cody works with me, alongside me in the Office of Admissions, and he's going to take it away on talking about next steps with regards to your conditional offer of admission. So Cody, let's hear it from you, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Aaron. Hi, everybody. My name's Cody Fogg. I'm an admissions officer here. My pronouns are he, him, his. And I've been here for about 6 years, but working in education for about 21 years. Settling here in San Luis Obispo, it's amazing. You guys are in for a treat when you get here. So I do want to go over some things that we want to focus on when we get offers of admission. One thing is you would see your offer of admission in your student portal. So I do stress, get to know your student portal, like the back of your hand, basically, because you are going to have your housing application in there. You'll have the dining plan, orientation, registration, your class scheduling. Everything is going to be going through your portal. So you're going to want to get in there and look around. If you haven't been in your portal yet, I definitely advise you do that because that's where we would let you know you were offered admission. So if you're having trouble logging into your portal, there is a little link underneath the field for the password. It says need help. Go ahead and click on that, follow the prompts, and you'll be able to get right in to your portal. Once you are admitted in there, you're going to want to take a look at the to-do list, which is in the student center of your student portal. It's over on the right-hand side. It says to do. Go ahead and click on it, and it'll have various things that we're asking for you, requesting items from you. Generally, they're transcripts, or they could be test scores. It could be anything. If you're an international student, we could have other things that we're asking from you. So be sure to be checking that as we do request transcripts, sometimes twice during this process. So make sure that you're getting us everything that we need. What else? So one of the things in the portal, when you click on your application status, that's what tells you where if you were offered admission. It'll say you were congratulations, you were offered conditional admission to Cal Poly. Well, the conditional admission is based on terms and conditions. So we do have terms and conditions that you need to be aware of when you are offered admission, to make sure that everything is still going to work out for you when you get into the summer past graduation. So in the terms and conditions, you're going to want to make sure you complete all the coursework that you designated on your application that you self-reported. So everything that you put on that application last fall, you want to make sure you've completed it successfully. Successfully means a C or better. So anything with a C or higher is going to be considered a successful completion of that course. You want to maintain a 3.0 at a minimum of 3.0 GPA for both fall and spring of your senior year, because that was what you're going to try to maintain your academic standard that you were offered admission with. You're going to also want to make sure that you get transcripts to us by July 15th. Those are the final transcripts. So that's a definite date you want to keep in your calendar to make sure that your school has sent those transcripts. Official transcripts can't come from you. You got to have either the school send them directly, whether it's electronically or by snail mail. But if you happen to have a sealed copy of your transcripts that you haven't opened up yet, then you can provide us with that. That's the one exception there. But most of the time, they're going to come directly from the school. So normally we have test scores that we want to. This year, test scores were not a part of our selection process, so we're not requiring them. However, if you have SAT scores and you want to submit them, please do so, because it can help with determining at least what math class you're going to be in. If you have AP scores, please make sure that those get to us by that July 15th deadline too. It's not an admissions requirement, but you can get some college credit for that before you get started. What else we got? Financial aid. There will be a financial aid webinar. It's coming soon. Aaron mentioned we got 5 webinars. We have a financial aid webinar coming soon. I would just say, as far as that, make sure that you're looking into the FAFSA, that you've submitted your FAFSA or you're going to. You should receive your awards package by around April 1st. Housing, you're going to want to be in your portal for that too. The housing application is going to show up there. I believe it's going to be April 8th, and you're going to have about a month to complete that. Housing is a first come, first served basis. You're going to hear a lot more about housing when I'm done talking here. But yeah, you're going to want to get that application in as soon as you can, so that if you do have a preference, you have a better opportunity of getting that preference. And then it goes to about May 7th. And there are various dining options on campus too. So I do encourage you guys to check out our website. We do have gluten-free and vegan, vegetarian options all around campus. If you have dietary restrictions, we can assist you with that too. I think I hit the transcripts. Yeah, July 15th. Make sure, maybe just reiterate that. July 15th, make sure that those final transcripts do get to us. And that is about it. And I look forward to talking with you guys at the Q&A afterwards. And I will turn it back over to Aaron.
So Cody, let's just be absolutely clear when we're talking transcripts.
Yes.
We're talking about, if I'm a high school student, we're talking about high school transcripts. And then also, if I attended in a community college or four-year university, or what if my high school offered me dual enrollment classes? Do I need to be sending in those transcripts as well?
Great question. Yes, absolutely. You want to have transcripts from all institutions that you've attended, especially if you're a high school student coming in with college coursework. You're going to want to get that evaluated by our evaluations unit, so you can get college credit, and cut your time down here at Cal Poly. I know you don't want to do that because it's such a great place to be, but you can graduate a little earlier if you have college credit coming in. So yes, all freshmen get your high school transcripts to us, your college transcripts. If it was dual enrollment, get both. If you're a transfer student, you want to get your college transcripts to us as well.
And we also know for those transfer students that you might have attended more than one community college or four-year university. So make sure you pay attention to what the different requests are when we go out and initiate those requests for final transcripts. And then also, Cody, is there even the chance that maybe a transfer student might have had might need to send in AP scores or IB scores if they utilize those credits when they competed for admission?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why. So as a transfer applicant, if you indicated that you got college credit from an AP or IB score, then we'll need those scores. It's just the same as if you're sending in transcripts. It's the same type of credit, so we need to just verify that you have that. So be aware of that, and we will definitely make you aware of that. Where? On your to-do list, in your student portal. It's going to be there. If you put it on your application, we're going to ask for it.
And Cody, the reason why I stress this is the next information I'm about to stress to you all students is about coursework at Cal Poly. The reason why this makes such a difference is when we receive these transcripts or maybe test scores by July 15th, we can make sure that you are placed in the right classes. So I want to talk a little bit more about the fall experience at Cal Poly. Here's some questions that we often get that might be new to you, or some maybe information about Cal Poly that might be new to you. Students, I'm not sure if you know this, but we're actually on the quarter system. So Cal Poly is going to be on the quarter system, and your fall quarter, the first day of class for you, does not start until Wednesday, September 15th. So Wednesday, September 15th is our first day of fall quarter. Fall, winter, and spring kind of traditionally make up our traditional academic year, where we usually finish spring quarter in the middle of June or the second week of June. But quarter, we do also have a summer quarter, and that's typically our fourth quarter, where we do have students that usually do end up taking classes, but a lot of our students also take advantage of study abroad, internships, maybe paid jobs, or opportunities to just maybe take a summer off from college. And so just want to let you know that we are on the quarter system, and the reason why those transcripts are so important is so that we can block schedule you into classes if you're an incoming first year student. And so how does registering for classes work this coming fall? I want to let you all know that if you are an incoming student from high school, you do not need to worry about registering for classes this fall quarter. We have a team of academic professionals, academic advisors working to build out your class schedule based off of those different transcripts or AP or IB scores that you might have had. And so keep this in mind that your fall quarter block schedule, meaning we're going to place you in classes in your major or in major support classes and general education classes. And so we're going to be building out your class schedule in time that you receive your schedule on August 11th. So you don't necessarily need to worry about registering. We want to make sure that you are on track that very first quarter to graduation. We have a lot of fun classes at Cal Poly, but we want to make sure that you are taking the right classes day one. So if you're an incoming aerospace engineer, you're going to be block scheduled in classes in aerospace engineering that very first day here at Cal Poly. As an incoming political science student, I was in 3 political science classes my very first day at Cal Poly. So across all of our different colleges, we're going to make sure our incoming first years and freshmen take classes in their major. If you're a transfer student watching this, I just want to let you know that you do actually end up registering on your own. Transfer registration occurs after slow days. Slow days is our first part of our 2-part orientation. So I just want to let you all know that for transfer students, again, that July 15th deadline is extremely important to you as well, to make sure that we have evaluated all your college course consideration, and so that you can take the right classes your very first quarter and register for those classes, typically in the month of August after slow days. And so let's just keep those experiences in mind. And then after that first fall quarter, students, our academic advising team is going to work with you to make sure that you're placed in classes in some type of block schedule throughout the first year experience. And also there's the chance that you will also be picking up or registering on your own. And so after that very first quarter, during your first year at Cal Poly, our Mustang Success Center team, and as well as different resources presented to you, will all work with you during your first year to make sure you are ready to register for classes, understand what classes you need to be taking, and then ready to make sure that you're on track for graduation. Taking classes in your major as well as general education classes is really a hallmark of that first year experience at Cal Poly. And so I do want to briefly just kind of introduce the next steps and upcoming events. And so this upcoming events piece is actually a nice way to transition and talk a little bit more about our orientation. So we actually have a 3-part orientation for students. And the first kind of the big large scale event, that we're offering virtually this coming fall, this springtime, is open house. So mark your calendars for April 8th through 15th. Open house is coming to you. But if you can't wait till open house to start to experience Cal Poly, and we suggest that you start to experience and understand all the different opportunities, connect with our students and faculty and staff. Well, before that, we offer a number of different opportunities, including virtual tours that are led by our 6 college ambassadors. We also have Explore Cal Poly sessions that are led by our poly reps. Again, that's Max and Laura on this call. There are 2 of our amazing volunteer poly reps that are going to virtually guide you around Cal Poly. We also have upcoming webinars. You're on one right now. This is our webinar on all things for newly accepted students. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about Learn by Doing. We're also going to introduce financial aid, university housing in more detail in about a couple weeks, and then round out with different experiences around career planning, industry experiences, and making sure that you get the most out of your Cal Poly experience. I can't stress enough, we have an awesome YouTube channel. Cody, if you don't mind, maybe throwing in the link to in our chat here, our awesome YouTube playlist. We have so many different opportunities for you to learn more about your major, learn more about support systems and opportunities here at Cal Poly. Upcoming events, I can't wait to tell you more also about these opportunities that will include opportunities to meet one-on-one with our students, live chat. We also check out our website here, Cal Poly, that gold website down there on the left-hand side, Cal Poly admissions, and its particular accepted student page. I know that when I was accepted to college, I couldn't wait to tell my friends and family about it. We even have awesome opportunities for you to download Zoom backgrounds or Instagram filters, or Instagram, like even like little shareable content. So either maybe it's any one of the social media platforms that you're on, or any of those opportunities. We have some really cool ways for you to virtually celebrate your acceptance into Cal Poly. As I mentioned, open house is our first of 3 different orientation programs. There's going to be a lot more information coming about orientation over the next couple weeks and months to come. But again, open house will be the first piece. I also mentioned slow days. That's our summer orientation. That's going to be coming to you in July and August. We also have specific transfer orientation days in August. We're going to be sharing more information about orientation as it unfolds. We're excited to offer some type of hybrid content, some type of even in-person orientation experiences during summertime. And then last but not least, we are planning for Week of Welcome, what Laura mentioned early on, which is our fall September orientation program in person. So that I cannot wait for you to learn more information about our in-person Week of Welcome experiences that are coming up next. And so without further ado, I'm going to stop talking, and I want to introduce our university housing guests that are going to introduce more about the university housing experiences at Cal Poly. So without further ado, we'll throw it over to Nona with university housing.
Thanks, Aaron, and congrats everyone on your conditional admittance to Cal Poly. That's a huge accomplishment. We had so many applicants from what I've heard, and you're all well prepared to be Mustangs, and housing can't wait to welcome you in the fall if you choose Cal Poly, which we hope you all will. So I'm here today, obviously, to talk to you a little bit about housing. This is a high-level introduction. We'll have more information for you at Open House, April 8th through 15th. That's virtual. And as Aaron mentioned, we'll be back for a webinar exclusively on housing later in March. But I wanted to be sure to just give you some important dates and next steps related to housing. So first I'll mention the application process. First, your students are required to live on campus, and the reason for this is that we have all of the resources that our campus community, both our academic colleges and student affairs, administration, our finance division, all of us have all of the resources available to you at your doorstep. And so that's really important for students transitioning to Cal Poly, whether you're first year or transfer and ongoing. And so living on campus really supports student success, retention, and helps you get the most out of your first year experience to be successful in subsequent years. The 2021 application opens Thursday, April 8th. So we've got a while until that happens. If you already know you're coming to Cal Poly, you're probably, waiting to do that next step. What you can do is go out and onto our website, housing.calpoly.edu, click on housing information and fees, or student housing rather, and fees, and then you can select first year or transfer and learn more about campus housing, including the application, and we have room layouts and everything on there. So while you're waiting, check out our website, join Instagram, and just poke around on there to kind of get a feel for what housing is like at Cal Poly. The application will appear in your housing portal 24 to 48 hours after you accept your admittance to Cal Poly. So you must accept your offer before you apply. And so if you accept your offer, today, you won't see the housing app, but you will see it first thing on Thursday, April 8th. And then if you accept your offer on April 8th, you'll probably see it on the 9th or maybe the following Monday. So no worries if you don't see it right away, if you accept, on or after the 8th. To secure housing, it's just a few simple steps. Complete the application, and in the application, you can let us know your roommate preferences if you have them. They're not required. You can let us know where you'd like to live. We have residential learning communities, which is how we determine where students live. And then you can make your initial payment. So there's a $500 initial payment to secure housing. And then for first years, there's a dining payment as well, $1,000. And transfer students, it's just the $500 initial payment, as dining is not required for transfers like it is for first years. Then you will complete the license agreement. So if you're 18 or older, you can sign that. It's just like a contract that you would sign off campus, agreeing to our terms of living on campus. And then after that, you would finalize your application by May 7th if you have any changes or updates. We want to know about that. So be sure to apply, secure housing, and edit your preferences by May 7th. And then that will put you in line for a housing assignment. Transfer students, again, not required to live on campus. And so the application for you all is open until spaces are filled. And what I'd also like to say about that is our transfer spaces are somewhat limited. So you'll want to be sure that you apply as soon as you know you're attending Cal Poly, because that application can fill. We do have an off-campus housing resource page on our website. So if you're more interested in living in the San Luis Obispo community as a transfer student, you can kind of browse that as well. But we're very welcoming to transfer students. We have a whole community every year where we house transfer students together along with our grad students. And so that's just a great opportunity to connect with others who are starting their Cal Poly career at the junior level. So I mentioned briefly residential learning communities. This is how we assign you to a space at Cal Poly. We don't ask you to select a specific building or community. Um, we we find that students who are able to connect with others based on common interests is helpful for them when they arrive and are getting settled in and making new friends and looking for ways to be supported in their journey through study groups or academic projects or things like that. So these are called residential learning communities. And all students are able to request a residential learning community preference in the housing application. And we call them preferences because these preferences guide our assignment team in making assignments. The location of our residential learning communities change year to year based on demand and availability, what's popular among students, what they tell us, they really loved about a community, and just what students are feeling. It's interesting to look at the data over the years. We had several years where our interest-based communities were very popular, and then the last several years it's been college-based. But we have, when we're fully occupied, around 8,000 students and many choices for everyone, first years and transfers included. So college-based communities are offered for students who want to live with others in their college, who share, the same academic program, major, or a similar discipline. So for instance, in the College of Engineering residential learning community, if you're an environmental engineering major, you might live with a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer or any other in that college. Sometimes people come to Cal Poly with roommates who are in different majors. And so if you're in a college-based community, there might be a few non-majors, which is always fun. But the goal is to put most of those programs, make sure most of the students in those programs are living together because that's what they've requested. Program-based learning communities are for students who wish to live in the same specialized program as you. So we have some programs that are by invitation: TRIO, EOP, Cal Poly Scholars, Honors, and those live together. And Aaron might be able to talk more about when those invitations are sent out for applicable programs, if anyone has a question about that. And then we have culture and identity-based communities. And so if you'd like to live with peers who have a common culture, or if you want to live in pride housing, we offer those options also. And that's a great way to connect with people who have similar backgrounds and identities, which are popular with our students. The last thing I'd like to touch on is our 2-year housing program. So I mentioned that first-year housing is required, and the reasons for that, it's very similar for second-year students. We're just committed to building a well-rounded support system for students that positively impacts their academics and their student life. And so as part of that commitment, all first years, as I mentioned, are required to live on campus. And then depending on the college or program, some students are required to live with us a second year. Currently, the College of Architecture and Environmental Design, the College of Agriculture, Food and Environmental Sciences, Cal Poly Scholars, and student athletes are applying now for a second year, just in the past few weeks. And they were our first group to come through with a 2-year requirement, and we're having a great response on that. This year, we're adding the College of Engineering. So if which you are, all newly admitted students, and you choose Cal Poly, you can plan to live on campus a second year and have housing guaranteed in our beautiful campus apartments up at Poly Canyon Village or Cerro Vista, and those are mostly private rooms with a few opportunities for shared rooms, which are at a discounted rate. So we wanted you to all be aware of that you are supported here in housing through our 2-year housing program. Looking to phase in other colleges later as we have capacity. The last thing I'd like to address is what fall would look like. You're probably all very curious about that. You know, given the challenges and situations that the pandemic has presented, and I think as an institution we've responded, you know, quickly and you know, with safety and support and for our students top of mind. I just want to say that that we're looking for fall to open closer to our full occupancy. So if you know of anyone attending Cal Poly, or if you have a sibling attending Cal Poly, or you've just been following the news, we housed all of our residents in singles this year, which is unprecedented. And we were still at around 56% occupancy, which is tremendous. And we've done really well with it because of our rigorous testing program, and students have been participating, you know, in that, which has helped our community, both on campus and locally. When we're fully occupied, though, and I alluded to this earlier, we have about 8,000 students on campus. We offer doubles and triples in residence halls and singles with some doubles in campus apartments. Final occupancy, though, for fall will be based on student enrollment and public health conditions. But we're optimistic that with in-person classes, as I mentioned, we will open closer to our full occupancy. We might not be right on target, but we're pretty optimistic that we're going to have a, you know, more normal opening. So I mentioned, you know, the singles and then the twice weekly testing and other measures that have helped our campus community stay safe and open. I also want to mention vaccines are rolling out in our area, and so we're just, and across the state and nation, there's variances, of course, but we're just really optimistic that we're going to be able to have a place for you. And this year there were some deferrals where some students chose to stay at home. Again, that all depends on course offerings and public health conditions. We just moved into the red tier, though, and it's only March, so that's very encouraging. Keep an eye on your messages from admissions. There will be housing information in there, and at open house for a status of housing. That's about a month and a half out. And so I'm certain we'll have additional information to share. Somebody had a question about roommates, I think.
Yeah.
Years.
Oh, yeah. No. The question was that we got, and this is going to be our first question during kind of our Q&A portion that I would love for you all to touch on with respects to housing is how do I go about either finding roommates, you know, the roommate process, is there a questionnaire? And then also if I have a particular, another student that is accepted and a newly admitted student that's coming to Cal Poly, can I request them when I fill out the application, or can I make any edits, you know, before or on May 7th? So that's a lot of questions, just maybe unpacking the roommate process.
Yeah, thank you. Roommates are important. If you know someone, it's great to be able to live with them. Although you will be making lots of friends in the residence halls or campus apartments if you're a transfer, for sure. So for first years, I'll just let you know that we'll be letting first years choose up to one roommate for a total of 2 in the room. And then if we have an opportunity for higher levels of occupancy, we might add a roommate. but you can request one for a total of two. And for transfers, up to 3 roommates for a total of 4. Transfers live in campus apartments, and most of those are 4-person, 4-bedroom apartments. If you accept and fill out your housing app on April 8th, you can add roommates at that time, or you can wait. So if you are not sure if someone else is going to accept their offer of admission at Cal Poly, or you're not sure of who your roommate might be, you can wait to do that, but you'll need to do it by May 7th. So at any time in the process, and they will have needed to accept their offer in order to be added, in order to add you. And we do require that roommate requests be mutual, because if they're not mutual, we won't be able to put you together. Typically, our assignments team will follow up, but it's just real much easier from the start and quicker if you can make sure your roommates are mutually requested, and also that you have the same residential learning community requests. So if I'm a business major, but my roommate is a liberal arts, in the College of Liberal Arts, I can still request them, and we can talk about where we'd like to live. Our first preference would be in the business learning community, or in a cultural and identity community, or say we're both Cal Poly scholars, then we would live together there. And so that's how that works. Even if you're not in the same college as your roommate and you want a college learning community, a residential learning community, you can live together. We do try very hard to prioritize roommates living together when we work on placements. And then where can they meet roommates? Was that a question?
Yeah, perhaps, either how can I meet a roommate, or, what have students done in the past to make connections?
Yeah, good question. So some people pair up with people that they know from their high school or otherwise, if they want to check out the class of Facebook page. There's usually one created for your class, and you can meet people there. With our virtual open house, it's a little more challenging. You won't be in groups necessarily in person, here on campus, but you will have, again, an opportunity maybe to find a way to meet others online through other online forums. But you might put it out there and just see if you can start to get to know people on social media.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nona, on that. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that actually most of our students are incoming students that live within university housing. So our incoming first years actually kind of go in the process blind. Not most students do end up not requesting another student, but go in blind. Is that still correct?
It's about half and half, yeah.
Okay.
So, and really, housing is one way, and it's a significant part of the first year experience, or the first transfer experience. But typically, students are meeting others in classes, in clubs, in, this year it was a slightly more challenging virtually, but we had literally thousands of online offerings through our Cal Poly Now app, just in student affairs. So there's different ways to meet people, not just in the residence halls, but in clubs, at the rec center, through club sports, through classes at the rec center. Just so many activities. There's leadership opportunities through our Center for Leadership, through our cross-cultural centers. Izzy can talk about ways to get involved as well.
I was going to defer to Izzy on any suggestions that she has as a student from involved in university housing on, either that roommate process or any questions that she often hears on, or advice on the whole process around incoming students in university housing.
Yeah, so my first year, I lived in a triple during my first year, and the way I found my roommates, it was about I went in finding one on Facebook. So I connected with someone that I found on Facebook. We just like saw each other's profiles and like thought we would be a good match for roommates, and we decided to fill out the application together. And then we also got paired with a random roommate. And honestly, like I had a good roommate experience. I got along with my roommates. So I think regardless of whether or not you do decide to pick one ahead of time or you go random, I would say like there is a chance that you would still have like a good roommate experience regardless of how you find your roommate. Of course, it is natural. All roommates are going to have a bit of conflict. That does happen regardless of like who you live with, because everyone kind of lives like their own way. But yeah, I'd say like I I found some success both through random roommates and matching up with people. And yeah, kind of like other things. I did meet people, not just in my residence hall, but I also met people through a bunch of clubs and organizations. I am involved within obviously university housing. I work there as a student assistant. I also got involved within professional organizations and the multicultural center and the cultural community is something that I really got involved with my first year. And yeah, it was like a great way to meet my community, find peers, like-minded peers to kind of spend my time with, and they make, as cheesy as this sounds, like they make Cal Poly feel like home. So it really is about the people that you surround yourself with.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Izzy. Izzy speaks to our Multicultural Center, which is one of our 6 centers in our student diversity and belonging. And Nona also mentioned the opportunities to live alongside students based off your identity or your background. And so there's so many different opportunities, even from the first day at Cal Poly, to build community. And Izzy was also talking about involvement. We even have 400 different clubs at Cal Poly for you to get involved. So thanks so much, Nona and Izzy. Our next question that I have goes to Laura and Max, and that is, do you have any advice for newly admitted students right now? I know there's so much between now and September, but maybe from your experience as current Cal Poly Mustangs, and also just working along and working with admitted students and prospective students, what advice do you have for students that are going through the process right now? So we'll go to Max first. Let's hear from Max.
All right, sweet. So everyone did a really good job talking, but that was my turn. And I think the best advice I can give to you guys as in your first couple months here at Cal Poly and the months leading up to it are just to really apply yourself and enjoy the opportunities you have in front of you. So after you graduate high school, you obviously have a lot of freedom, and you can kind of do whatever you'd like, and kind of just grow on your own, and kind of realize, at least I realized, that like life is what you make of it, and you can kind of do whatever. And so then I applied for a position at a venom lab, and I worked on making anti-venom over the summer, which is really cool. I have friends who worked on coconut farms. You kind of just do whatever and have a good time with it. And then once you get to Cal Poly, you can take those experiences and everything you've learned and just apply yourself. I think that's the biggest advice that helped me out for first year, and the advice I'd give to first years. The worst thing that happens if you apply yourself is like you end up in the same spot that you were. And so I applied myself in I applied for certain projects. I was able to get on hands-on experience on working on projects my first year. And I applied to different club officer positions, and was able to take leadership roles or apply to join certain research labs that interested me. And one thing I did is I would get a calendar. Calendar is huge to staying organized and on top of things and able to like keep your time efficiently managed. So with that calendar, populate all the blank spaces. Just put every club that you might be remotely interested in, put their meeting times in your calendar. And then if you're free during those times, you can just hop onto their Zoom, listen to like astronomy. I got to speak with like some people at SpaceX, even though I don't do anything with aeronautical engineering, just because I just showed up to a Zoom. And then my first year, you get free pizza at clubs that are in person, and so you can kind of just bounce around and eat for free, and also get to meet cool people and go see like rocket launches, learn about weather balloons, learn about solar powered cars, a lot of really cool things you can get to do if you just go ahead and apply yourself. So I think that's my best advice.
I would definitely echo everything that Max said. First of all, you gotta take a break, give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate for a minute, because you're almost at the end of high school and all the hard work of waiting for those college applications to come back around is over. So congratulations on that, and recognize all the hard work you put into applying to Cal Poly. In between now and when school starts, as you're figuring out what school you want to go to, take advantage of all the resources. We have a ton of amazing resources that we've talked about today already, like that YouTube channel, and really like even do things like follow the schools on Instagram, follow your major on Instagram, you know, check things out, try and connect with other students. You'll be able to see so much just by watching Instagram lives, or I don't know why I'm talking so much about Instagram today, but you get the point. Look for those ways to connect to current students and really try and find those connections to see what it's really like to be a student on campus. I know you can hear all these facts and amazing programs from these admissions info sessions, but really reaching out to current students is a great way to figure out if that school is going to be a great fit for you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Laura. And a shameless plug for our Instagram. We do go live every Monday at 6 p.m. Nona just threw in the Instagram handle for housing. There's so many different opportunities to explore Cal Poly. We wish that we had on-campus visit experiences for you all right now, but we would love to continue to integrate and communicate with you all and show you all the different virtual programming. So lastly, I want to share with you all I'm going to go Izzy, Max, and Laura just to share maybe a little bit about their why Cal Poly. You know, why did you all come to Cal Poly, or why are you still at Cal Poly today? So I know you've come to Cal Poly, but why do you still call Cal Poly today home? So Izzy, we'll go with you. I know you're running off to class after this, and so I would love for Izzy to go first, and then we'll go to Max and Laura to round this out.
Yeah, so why Cal Poly? I chose Cal Poly. I actually originally did not expect to go to Cal Poly. But when I visited the campus, I think it was April of my senior year in high school, for open house, I felt like this just sense of community and welcome. Everyone was just so excited. You'll see hopefully when we go back on campus in the fall, everyone's always so excited to welcome the incoming students. And yeah, I think a big part of Cal Poly is the community that I've found. Like I said, I have a few different communities that I am a part of, both professionally and socially. And I think the people that I've met here are some of the kindest people, and I've been able to learn and grow so much as an individual from my peers. And I think that's kind of a big reason why I'm still here. And yeah, so that's my spiel.
That was an awesome spiel, Izzy. And I just echo a lot of things she said. My why Cal Poly, personally, I was very fortunate to get into a lot of the schools I applied to, and so I had a really hard decision ahead of me. But then when I thought about it and really looked at all my options and what my future holds for me, I can boil it down to 3 main reasons why I came to Cal Poly. First of all, it's an undergraduate focused university, and this is something that I think is huge. So your first year, your second year, your third year, you're able to come to campus, and all the campus's resources are dedicated to you and focused on you. So at most other universities, what I found is their hierarchy system with sort of like professors, postdoctorates, doctorates, graduate students, and the very bottom is like undergrads, and how resources are spread out and like how opportunities are spread out throughout the university. But here it's like professors, undergraduates. We do have a small graduate population and they're awesome too, but like the university is focused on your undergraduate experience, and so you are able to get like incredible amount of exposure your first year. Secondly, I think the learning inside the classroom is world class, but we have a super strong club system. And so the learning outside the classroom, I think, is the real value for coming here and coming to the university. You get to work with like-minded students on projects that you're passionate about and develop skills that help you in your career as a person, and just help you grow. So I was able to join like several clubs and work on projects where we change people's lives with engineering. And so that was super cool. I learned a ton there and have a ton of great connections and experiences from that. And then third and finally, San Luis Obispo is an absolute dream to live in. It is so fun down here. It's like, it feels like a movie, and it seems cliche, and you see these Zoom backgrounds and marketing promotions that just look picturesque. But let me tell you, it actually looks like that. It just is so beautiful down here. Like I wake up before class, I'll go surfing, and then I'll go get lunch at the dining hall with my friends, go to class, study at the library, see all my friends there, go on a hike maybe for sunset, go to bed, and then it's a good time here. So San Luis Obispo was a dream to live here at any time in your life, but to get to live here at college in this college town is absolutely incredible. And so those are my three main reasons. Thank you.
So as Max, that's awesome. Izzy, thank you so much. So as we round out, Laura, you get to finish us off as we hit the top of the hour.
Thanks. So I chose Cal Poly because I absolutely love San Luis Obispo. Like Max said, I love being able to go to a coffee shop and study with friends before class downtown, or go on a hike after class, or spend the weekend at the beach. For me, it's really location, location, location. I love living here. Also, I am, like I said earlier, I am a liberal arts student, and I was looking at a lot of really small liberal arts schools. But I actually love going to a polytechnic university because there's so much overlap, and I get to take so many classes with students who are in different majors and have different interests than myself. And I feel like I've had a really well-rounded experience, and I've learned so much from going to a school with so many different perspectives and people involved in so many different things. I also absolutely love the campus community and how involved everyone is. That's something that I definitely was looking for. Everyone is really interested in doing well in school, but they're also really wanting to try new things. They're going to want to go on hikes and spend time outside, try new restaurants, try new coffee shops, and really take advantage of the San Luis Obispo area. So I absolutely love that about the student body. That wraps it up for me. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. Thanks, Max. And thank you to Cody, Nona, and Izzy for being here today. That wraps up our time here together. Just one last plug for our different upcoming events coming out to you all. Again, we advertise that the fact that Learn by Doing will be featured next Thursday at 5. And then we can't wait to showcase more about financial aid, university housing, and career services. So if you have questions about different jobs, different experiences inside and outside the classroom to get plugged in with industry and graduate school and so many more opportunities that will all be coming out to you all. Check out our virtual tours. We have live virtual tours as well as on-demand opportunities, and we can't wait to stay connected with you all. So continue to stay connected with our different events, and thank you so much for being here today. We wish you all the best. And lastly, again, congratulations on being conditionally admitted to Cal Poly. You are some of the smartest students out there, and we cannot wait to welcome you at San Luis Obispo in the fall at Cal Poly. And once again, congratulations and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much.
Hey there, my name is Rafael. I'm a fourth-year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comment section, and go ahead and click here to subscribe. And to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a virtual visit or talk to any student or staff members, check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.